Member supported, Hawaii Public Radio, all things considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. Starting on August 3rd, the Aloha State gets a visit from Rickie Lee Jones. August 3rd at the KCC on Kauai. August 5th, Kahilu Theater. August 6th, the Palace in Hilo. August 7th, Hawaii Theater. August 9th and 10th, the Iao Theater. Aloha and mahalo, Rickie.
Aloha. Thank you, Dave.
You are quite welcome. I was checking out the latest album, The Other Side of Desire, and your connection to New Orleans. I gather that your relationship with that city goes way beyond just music.
Yeah, I was thinking that just today. I was riding on my little Vespa, and I stopped, and there was a guy standing there, and he said, "Great day to ride a bike, huh?" It's such a different world than the world of Los Angeles, where nobody talks to anybody. And it's been healing for me because I wasn't thriving very well in the Los Angeles culture. I needed to have community and people in my life.
If you can shed a little bit of light into the process of doing The Other Side of Desire and where some of these songs come from.
They come from arranging my emotional life into the things I see, and I think the riverboats, the trains talking to the riverboats, the constant rumbling of the sky. It's always going. The thunder is always rumbling. It's like being in the middle of the clouds. Sultry, wet, heavy air. This is the only record I made a conscious choice to do a kind of music, to draw from the traditional sounds that New Orleans is known for, or Louisiana sounds, and with some exception, that's kind of what I did.
Connectedness to nature, and obviously you have a stronger feel for that there.
Yeah, that's true. I was watching some birds. I watch birds a lot, and I noticed the birds had a singer, a caller, to tell them what was going on. He had a kind of whistle that was warning, here comes a car. Also narrating, it really seemed like, or she. We got some food down here. Everybody check us out. We got food. Look at this. He's got the food. He's running away with it. And they're talking, right? They're telling stories. That's what I hear. Comment, story, warning, celebration. I bet you all animals, all herds have a singer. But the process of singing out heartbreak is probably so deeply ingrained in our living tissue. It must attach us to a larger whole.
You said in a recent interview, and I know we're all individuals, but somehow we also know we're all one.
In the other world where we come from and probably where we return to be a whole, probably lose our ego and identity and return to the whole. But I know that we don't have the language or the concepts to explain to each other what it is. And we can't interpret it here in this world. All we can just do is roughly say, I think it's like this, and then have faith. I believe it, even though I don't know it. And I think we are connected. We know it in a lot of ways. Christ said it really well, I'm paraphrasing, but if the lowest of mine suffers, I suffer. So we all have to take care of one another, not because it'll help me, but because it's the righteous thing to do.
Reading your bio, going back to the late 70s, the decision you had to go with Warner Brothers, it says that you had a vision of standing in Lenny Walker's office. You had a vision of that when you saw his name on the back of a very famous album.
That moment was exactly as it's described. That helped me know which direction to go. I went, I have to find this guy, Lenny Walker. That's where I'm supposed to go. When I looked at the back of that record,
Randy Newman, Sail Away,
and saw his name, I went, I'm going to stand in his office in front of him. I can feel him. I can feel us standing there together. And sure enough, there was the desk, and I did stand there. I think a lot about it, the nature of how we live and the nature of time, and these are the things that are exciting to me. And sometimes I stumble upon something that I think is a truth, like the truth of those other places can't be interpreted to this physical world. We can't say it here. The other thing that everybody uses, every religion, the reason they all use the word faith is because faith is like a metaphysical plasma. When you believe a thing, you can bring it into the physical world. It's a fantastic and powerful event. We all have access to it. We weave the world we decide we're going to weave. Some people say they're having a hard time because they have something to work out. I don't know that part, but I know you can weave new destinies into your life. They come like anything, like you're weaving a rug. They have to have a past. They have to have things upon which they can base themselves.
The power of imagination, it's not something you can understand when you're in your physical vessel.
It took me a long time to be at peace with who I am, whatever it is. And it changes month to month, day to day. My reality, my purpose is always responding. I'm a loner character, but here in New Orleans, I really try to have people in my life because it's much too easy for me to end up alone, doing things by myself with my dog.
You mentioned your dog. Another aspect of researching you was looking at the way you conduct yourself on social media. A lot of other artists just use these things as a promotional tool, whereas you actually are sharing the ups and the downs of life. And another thing was your passion for animals, it appeared, was there.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I don't really see any difference between us and any of the living things. Mm-hmm. They are all carbon-based things that respond to the world around them, and they all have a right to live. You know, I don't kill bugs anymore. I just respect and love all life. One day it won't be here anymore.
Like the rhinos.
You know, in England, I was in the middle of a mass demonstration for the rhino. I don't hear about it as much in the States as I do in Europe, but the rhino and the elephant, when you realize that the whole animal is being killed for some ridiculous homemade potion so somebody can have a hard-on or whatever it is they think they're going to do, and they kill the animal and they take its fingernails or its tongue or its, whatever, this kind of waste of a life in order to have an imaginary thing, that's partly what is so horrific. And there is something so ancient and innocent about a rhinoceros, isn't it?
Absolutely.
A great big guy with a great big horn, just minding his own business. I have this same passion about sharks. Because sharks have lived in the world for 350 million years, and then we went out and annihilated massive amounts of them. I think about them in the water, what do they know, and what are the highways they travel for millions and millions and millions of years. It's their planet, not ours. We're new. And we're so deadly. What they do is they cut off their fin and then let them drown, drop them back into the ocean. All this for shark fin soup. Shark fin soup is annihilating millions and millions of animals every year. I became a scuba diver because I needed to meet a shark because I was so afraid of them that I couldn't even float in the water. And I became certified so I could go down and see that this is an animal, and here's where it lives, and here's how it fishes. And I'll just end by telling you, 2 or 3 years on my 59th birthday, I went scuba diving in Florida, and I met a shark about as big as me. He was right there, just maybe 10 feet away, and he came over really close, really slow. He did like a horseshoe around us. And as he went around me, he looked at me and I looked at him, and he had a green eye like me. And I thought, oh my God, all of our lives we've been coming to this moment, you and me, shark, where we would look at each other here under the ocean. And he turned around and came back and looked once more. And he swam away. It was the profound moment that I'd wanted. And I got just a little scared because I thought, am I imagining this stuff and I'm looking in your eye and I shouldn't be looking in your eye or what? But it was a really fantastic moment. And we can have these with, maybe even better, easier, we can have these with all interspecies events where we connect with things that supposedly we're not supposed to connect with. But I understand exactly how you feel.
It's like the tusks, it's like the horn, but it's also, as you put out there, somehow we all know that we're one.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I just have so much respect for you, and it's just been very special to connect with you today, Rick.
Thanks a lot for calling. It was a great talk.
God bless you. I'll see you when you get to town. Be safe.
Talk to you later. Thank you. Aloha. This is Rickie Lee Jones, and you're tuned in to my friend Dave Lawrence's radio show.